the
Awesome.
phones, we should have Faith Child on the phone. How you doing, Faith?
I'm doing amazing, Grantley. How you keeping, man?
I'm blessed of God. I really am. You know, it's been a minute or two since we spoke last. It's been a
Indeed,
while.
man.
It's been a while, but I must admit, you haven't been lazy at all, or sort of like withdrawing in terms of your work ethic. You've been right on the money, as they say. I've been watching you from a distance, and yeah, you've been presenting, and you've been, doing a lot of performances. You've done quite a few awards with regards to presenting awards and being the recipient of being nominated and winning awards. So yeah, you couldn't have done that without stepping up to the plate, which I'm really pleased to see, because I was there back in the early days, late '90s, maybe early noughties. Um, Being on a different radio station would be the last time that we spoke. And at that time, you were surrounded by people like El Dubsy and people like that. Do you remember?
Of course, man. Of course, man. I'm still in contact with many of them today, and it's a joy that as my career has progressed, I'm glad you're still in the position that you're in. So it's a joy having you and having you support the music that I make. So thank you so much.
Praise God. You've got a new single out right now, Cardio. And
Yes.
it hasn't been out long, but let me ask you this: how well is it doing so far?
I must tell you, it's getting such a great reception. And every time I write a song for performance. So whenever I write it, I thought, okay, how can I perform this song? And I had a show just over the weekend, or I had two shows over the weekend rather, and cardio goes down a treat. And I think what I love is, despite sonically people love it, the message behind it also holds weight. So that's something that I take joy and pride in, that it's not just a fun time to have and to turn up to, but it has substance and a message of reconciliation.
Yeah, I love what I've heard. I've played it a few times, just to myself. But I'm looking forward to giving it the full length straight after we finish this little catch up. So lots of changes, Faith. Lots of changes. The last time I spoke, you were a single man.
Yes,
So here's the thing about me, Faith. You should know, because even if you can cast your mind back to the last time we spoke, I don't just get into music. I like to get into a little bit of the person as well. And I
of
hope you
course.
don't mind, because some people kind of get all bent out of shape. I remember I did an interview and I went off line with, because he thought it was just going to be the single. And I
Mm.
asked a couple of questions and it kind of went silly on air. Do you know what I mean? But
Oh
yeah,
no.
I'm just explaining. That's just how I am. I like to give our audience, our listeners, our viewers, the full 100.
Of
So
course.
you're a married man now, Faith.
Yes, I'm loving it. We're just celebrated our first year anniversary last
Has
month.
it been a year already?
Yeah, time has flown. It just clocked a year, and I must say it's been a wonderful and pleasant journey. Not that anyone intends to marry their enemy, but when you marry your friend, um, it's beautiful, it's sweet, and I think being intentional about your relationship, being intentional about conflict resolution, being intentional about building your friendship and ensuring you have a solid foundation is something that God has graced us with, and something we intend to build upon day after day, week after week, and month after month. So I'm loving it, man. It's amazing.
It is beautiful. It is beautiful. I've seen pictures of both of you, and you both look very, very happy.
Thank you very
So
much.
yeah, we give God thanks, man, because we need examples like your shining example of how it can be. Do you know what I
Praise
mean?
God.
And there's
Yeah.
so many singles out there, which you were one of quite a few years ago, and you're giving people hope, Faith. And I think it's important that yes, we talk about the music, but also we talk about life. This is the way I
For
think it
sure.
should be, and when people see your relationship, how it's blossomed, and 1 year on you're married, surely it must give others hope, right? Because I'm sure quite a lot of single ladies and men out there that are, on that path, thinking, when is it gonna be my turn?
One thing that I say to that is I'm appreciative for our journey. I got married at 33 and I was still a virgin when I got married. And quite a few friends of mine got married at 25, 27, 30. And I got married, quote unquote, a little later, so to say. But I think love is beautiful, waiting is beautiful. And one thing I always encourage single people, especially women, because I think the pressure is more on women as they're the ones that often have to be pursued by the male. I often say to them that your worth and your value is not in your relationship status. So whether you're married, single, divorced, waiting, or no one's even looking at you, you are whole and complete without a man in your life. So one thing I always say is that we are full and whole in Christ, and the key thing is to find contentment in being yourself. Your spouse should not be your happiness. Your spouse should not be the root of you being complete, but rather you being complete in yourself. So when they do join you, you have two whole people coming together as opposed to two halves who are depleting one another.
Yeah, I just hate that saying my better half. Oh my gosh. How has it affected your music ministry being married? Uh, you know, yeah, give us a breakdown on that. Has it affected it on a positive, or is it kind of like you're still trying to work it out? Tell us about that.
Mm. It's affected it in a positive way, in which whenever I'm doing a show, my wife is often checking in, how's preparation, how are things going,
Yeah.
what's the wardrobe looking like, are your clothes ready, someone to pray with me, someone to just check in and ensure that I'm doing good. And these are things she was doing prior to us getting married. But now the joy is that my wardrobe is looking amazing because the
Yeah, I
wife
could
has
just
been looking
imagine.
good.
So she makes sure that you don't leave the house without, she gives you like the once over. Yeah, you're good. You're good. You can go
Come
now.
on. Yeah, she gives me the once over to
it's
make sure I'm looking good.
it's
So yeah,
nice.
it's really
It's
good.
nice. And musically, no pressure. Go and do your thing, babe. And I'll see you when you get back. Yeah.
Yes, and the beauty of it is that my wife met me as a musician. If she
Okay.
had met me as a guy who was doing a standard 9 to 5, and then I now transitions to having getting home at 2 a.m. or being abroad for long periods of time, that would have potentially disrupted the rhythm she might have been used to. But because she met me as a touring musician, she's been familiar and used to my forever sporadic and changing schedule. So that's one of the
Yeah.
joys of me being a musician from early and her meeting me as that. But even when I do travel, I'm still very intentional about us speaking, us communicating, phone calls, WhatsApps, the whole 9 yards. So she's still with me, even though when she's not physically with me.
It's important that you do maintain that relationship in terms of when you're not there, making sure that you still touch base, have, your private time together. Um,
Yeah.
since you've been together, or even before you actually, put a ring on it, as they say, have you written any songs as a result of your relationship that kind of touches on that subject at all? Can we
Yes.
see like a Faith Child love album coming down the line?
I've actually written one so far, and in the process of writing a second one. But I feel don't hold me to this, but maybe February Valentine's, maybe you'll get like
Ah,
5 songs or something.
okay.
Maybe this is not. I'm not saying it's in the works, but you never know what the Lord
You
might do
never
between
know. There
them
could be a
now and then.
love child, faith child EP.
Come on,
you
man.
You can take that one. You can take that one to the bank. So
Don't
back to
worry,
the single.
don't worry, you get your 10% royalties for that for the EP
Thank you.
title.
Don't let me hold you to that. All right. So cardio is the
Yes.
new single. Tell us the release date. When did it come out?
It came out just at the end of April. Just at the
Okay.
end of April, it came out. And then the music video came out about just 2 weeks ago. And I wanted to have like a staggered release to give it more life for summer and thereafter. That's the beauty of having like a long campaign for something. And yeah, so that's the record Cardio. I had sat on that song for a while. I wanted to get it right. I wanted to get it right and ensure it was delivered as authentically as possible. And it's been incredible and phenomenal, man. I'm grateful for that song.
Excellent. You're an independent artist. And as an
Yes.
independent artist, how hard has it been in terms of the financial element to what you have to bear?
Yeah. So, as you know, everything is independently funded and supported. And the money I make from music goes back into the music itself. And
Yeah.
even money I make from other ventures, whether it might be marketing or money from presenting or money from public speaking, all of that goes back into it. So even though by God's grace, lucratively I'm making money from music, it's then going back in, which I guess is good to invest in yourself, but it's also good to have an engine behind you, so that the money I'm making from music, I can keep that to do live and
Yes.
then have another source tapping into the production of it. But I think, again, I'm grateful for it. And I think time will soon come where we'll be living in continual surplus of the work we've put in. And I think that
Residual
just is just,
income. That is the thing, right?
yeah. And I think
Residual.
yeah. And I think the beauty is that my first album, Illumination, in 2009, I'm still getting residual income from that today. One of the
Excellent.
songs was synced on MTV. So we're still getting money from that, from royalties, people streaming it. And I think, it kind of talks into the life of a creative and an entrepreneur. Some people say, I want to be a boss, I don't want to account to anyone, but
Yeah,
you leave your 9 to 5 to now work 9 till 9 round the clock,
exactly.
9 a.m. to 9
Yeah,
a.m. So
yeah.
sometimes it's better to be in your 9 to 5 and have that stability than being an entrepreneur. But it's definitely joys in being an entrepreneur and seeing the fruits of your labor.
I want to draw a timeline. So, hence this question. So, the album Illumination, how old was you when that came out? When you brought that
I
out?
would have been 20.
20.
Yes, 20 years of
20.
age. Yeah.
Okay. And I just heard you say that you're still getting income from that, which means that you would have got all your ducks in a row. What do you mean by that, Grantley? I mean, it would have been registered correctly
Yes.
at 20. How did you know to do all of these things, Faith? How did you know? Was it who you were running with at the time, or did you just like do some research to get it right?
I think most likely people I was running with. Definitely people I was running with.
People like
I
who?
was
Who like
so
who?
fortunately, so I had like having like the governor bees around me, etc. But I had the elders, like people like Uncle Muyiwa, people like Dave P, people like your Saul Grantley, people like rest in peace Lucas Langdon. You know,
Okay,
people like those were around me saying, "Okay, are you signed up for PRS? Have you got your PPO sorted out? Have you registered?" I think it was Millwood Brown, I think at the time, were the ones that were sorting out registering your album for the official charts. So
okay.
people like that were in my corner telling me, make sure you've done this, make sure you've
Make
done that,
sure.
and
Yeah,
setting me up for legacy essentially. So yeah,
yeah,
having my elders and my uncles looking out for me were definitely
yeah.
instrumental in getting my ducks in a row.
All right. So this is the reason why I ask these questions, and this is the way it's not just about the single, because even though essentially we are on to talk about cardio, I like to have a conversation where other people can listen and think, oh, right, so that's what I need to do.
Yeah,
Because Faith, it's unfortunate, but and I know there are some workshops out there, but it is unfortunate that there aren't enough of people saying this is the way to do it. Do you understand what
yeah,
I'm trying to say?
yeah.
Yeah,
I
we need
understand.
more of that. We need more of that because we've got this new generation coming through, and if someone isn't saying, "Look, this is what you need to do to create long-term longevity, etc., etc." Gone are the days of big record labels, right?
Yeah.
That's not the way it's done anymore. It's about TikTok and Instagram, and when you remember when you first started, there wasn't such a thing as I don't think there was. People were still handing out flyers, right?
Let me tell you something, Grantley, yeah? Back in the day, you would have a physical CD, yeah, as a single. You'd often have like the original on there, a remix, maybe a bonus track, and then the instrumental often of the
Right,
original song.
right.
And you'll sell that for like 2.99. Yeah, two
Yeah.
ninety nine you'll sell that for. And you go to a show, you'd sign it, Bob's your uncle, you're living large. Now you go on Spotify or Tidal or Amazon or whatever platform people get their music from, and one stream is equivalent to like 0.025 pence. So what you would have got off one CD, three
Yeah.
pounds,
Yeah.
you're getting like nothing. You probably have to stream the song like almost 1,000 times to make that £3. So to say, so there are
That is
pros and cons.
amazing.
There are
Yeah, I
pros and
mean,
cons of that.
mm,
So
oh
the
man,
beauty of it is
you're
that
pressing my buttons now, Faith, because I care about the industry, the so-called industry, and you've
yeah,
broken it down. Obviously, I know this, but for the person that is listening that doesn't know, look what you have to do in comparison. You can sell a CD. Back in the day, you could sell a single and make 3 quid. In order for you
yeah,
to make that same 3 quid, break it down again, like I didn't
you
hear
would
it
have,
first time.
yeah, you would have to have your song streamed about 1,000 plus times, if not more than that, to make £3. So basically, I can give you like a ballpark figure. 1 million streams equals £4,000. So a
Yeah,
million streams equals £4,000. Now, with that £4,000, you're not getting 100% of that. That will go to maybe the record label, then the streaming platform will take a little bit, then the writers will get their bit, then the producer. So there's what are you really taking away? But I think the beauty of it is that one, it now makes your music more accessible
right.
because someone in how are you going to get your CDs to Rwanda or Australia if you don't have a means of literally getting a distributor? So the internet is the middleman now, but also now you don't have to pay for physical printing of those CDs. But the
Mm,
truth is, as a musician, the money is from touring and maybe sync licensing. Sync licensing is when they use your music in commercials or adverts or for a brand
yeah,
or something. So the real
yeah,
money as an artist is really from touring. And that's when the record labels tried to put in a 360 deal. I know we're getting into technical terms now, where they take money
yeah,
off your merchandise, performance, etc.
yeah,
But as an
yeah.
artist, what you really want to do is get on the road and perform. Because that's where you'll see real income coming in.
Thank you so much for breaking that down because it's so important that we teach the new generation coming through. Back to cardio. Tell us what the song is all about. How did it come about in terms of writing as well?
Yeah. So basically, I got this thing here where in my phone, my phone is here. I'm an avid iPhone user. So in my phone, yeah, I
Boo.
have a folder. In my phone, yeah, I have a folder called lines and bars, where wherever I have a punchline, I just write it down, and then I then formulate a song or a verse from that. So I came up with the word or the line, "Running from God don't count as cardio." And then I thought, how can I turn it into a song? So the chorus goes, "Running from God don't count as cardio. You can always come back no matter how far you go. His grace is super. Hop in the Uber. He ain't departing, bro. So pull up, pull up. You ain't got far to go. Nah, you ain't got far. Running from God don't count as cardio. And the whole heart behind that song is that no matter how far you go from God, in life, every relationship has its ups and downs. It's gray moments and it's great moments. And that's often the case sometimes with a relationship with God. Sometimes you feel far away, sometimes you feel close. But for the moments when you do feel far from God, one might say, I'm too far. Will God ever take me back? It's a lot of effort, but know that God's arms are always open. And me, I'm big on punchlines. I'm big on wordplay. I'm big on lyricism. So in the two verses on that song, I just really go in with the punchlines and with the wordplay so that as you are hearing a great message, you're hearing the skill behind it. I believe as a Christian, you shouldn't just, you should be working, if not the same level, then better than those who don't do it for the glory of God. So I just love putting my best foot forward.
I love your lyrical wordplay from the early days. Really, I remember one time I
Thank you.
asked you to do a drop for me. You graciously did that for me, and I'm trying to remember some of the lines because you kind of like flowed it out for me. It wasn't just a straight drop, and you said something to the audio, something to the cardio. It was Faith Child on the menu. Da, 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 da. Do you remember that? It was a long time ago. I don't
I'm
expect you
not
to.
gonna lie. It was a long time ago,
It was a
but
long
as
time
long as
ago. But the thing
with
is this: the word cardio reminded me of that drop because there was that O element in your flow for the drop that you did for me. Something
nice.
about stereo. Um, yeah. It
Okay,
was a long
okay, okay.
time
I
ago.
think
It was a long
it might
time
be
ago.
coming back. Yeah, I think I remember
Yes. It was a
now.
long time ago, but it was a serious drop, which we will get into offline about the new drops that you're going to do for me. Thank you very much.
Anytime, anytime.
Right. So here's the single. It's called Cardio. You've just eloquently explained how it all came about and everything else. Promotion time now, right? Is that where we're
Yes,
at?
that's
So
where we're
tell us
at
about the
now.
video. Tell us about the video.
Awesome, man. So cardio, the video is amazing. We shot it in, majority of it is black and white. It was filmed in England and Czech Republic, so filmed it in two
What?
countries. And I just loved having my guys around me. So in the video, you see like Governor B, you see Rebla, you see Scotty C, Chopper O, a whole bunch of artists who are really doing their thing right now, and a few other entrepreneurs and businessmen are in the video too. And I just wanted to
Okay.
spotlight that. Yeah, I wanted to spotlight that. You know what? We can have community, we can have fellowship. And there's one part which I say you might see me pull up 99 deep when one of the man is missing. You know that God is finding that sheep, which comes from a scripture that says God leaves the 99 to find the
That's
one.
right.
So I
That's right.
wanted to ensure that I had my guys around me and knowing that even if you see one of us missing, God is willing to go and find that person. So
You know,
that's what I did with the video.
from the early days, Faith, you guys have always rolled deep. You know, you've always rolled with a
Yeah,
pack and nothing's changed by the sounds of it. You know,
indeed, man.
I love the fact that you're still rubbing shoulders with Governor and Triple, who I interviewed
Yeah.
recently. He's getting ready for his big gig in October. I kind
October
of
the
get a
8th. Yeah.
yeah, I kind of get a feeling like I'm going to see a few people on the bill that I'm, I don't want to give the game away, but yeah, yeah. So it's great. It's great that you're still rolling that way, and you guys. It seems like you're all still helping each other, guiding each other, supporting one another. How important is that
Yeah.
to you?
For me, it's very important. I'm more interested in your life off the microphone. I feel often when you have a bit of buzz, a bit of heat about you, people only care about you in that moment, about your gift and your talent. But how is the man or the woman behind the microphone? How's your day to day? How's your mental health? How are you
Yeah,
coping with the stardom and the fame? Those are things that I'm quite big on. And for example, myself, Governor B, A Star, Pressure J, J Vessel, we link up nearly like every 6 weeks just to
that's
have a
great.
check in. We'll go for dinner, we go around each other's houses, we have a WhatsApp group that we talk in every day. I'm often on the phone every day to Triple O. and other artists. So it's so important to see how people are. And you will know, Grantley, the arts and media industry can be quite fickle. It can be
Yes.
quite fickle. When you're hot, everyone loves you. When you're not hot, they love to
Everybody
drop
wants to
you.
know your name.
Yeah, everyone wants to know you. And I think it's through being a genuine person and having lasting relationships that you're able to have the longevity, I believe, in the music industry. The music industry, my career is obviously God's grace, but also having good relationships with people. Because you could say, let's book XYZ, but then you have a soft spot for ABC. So let's
Yeah.
book ABC instead of XYZ. Why did that person get the booking? Although they're great, but they have great character. So
Yes.
it's just good to be relational and do right by all men. Do right by all men, and just if there's
Love
any
this.
issues, iron it out, iron it out. So yeah,
100, 100. So what are you praying for? What are you praying to God for right now in terms of the music ministry? Let's keep it there.
sure.
What's the next move, Lord?
The next move is I'm finishing my album at the moment, but my
Okay.
for me, music is just an icebreaker for a wider conversation. So my prayer is that God always uses the songs I write to point people back to Him. When I'm on stage performing, I want healing to take place, which doesn't sound normal for rap music. You would deem an encounter with God with slow worship music, as it's often
Mm,
coined. But I want to be a vessel. Like when I step onto a stage, like the ache you had in your leg is gone, or like the cloudy judgment you had in your brain is gone. I just really want God to move. And a lot of my music is a lot of like sonically it's party music, jumping in the air, hands in the air. And I just pray that people are liberated and have freedom in God. Like that's really where my heart is at. So although I want to have the chart success and tour the world, but I want the chart success and the touring to lead with an encounter with Jesus. That's really where my heart is, if I'm honest.
you're such a great example, Faith. I really do thank God for you. Um, yeah. So you talked about the album coming. How
Yes.
far? How far are you into it? How many tracks? And will it be like first quarter next year, or will it be tail end of this year?
It looking at the tail end of this, if I'm being honest. We're
Okay.
at the finish line. We're at the finish
Yeah.
line.
Yeah.
I'm actively in the studio. I'm actively in the studio. So we're at the finish line right now. So
Okay. How many track
once the
album
Lord,
will it be? How many tracks?
um, we are at, I don't want to do more than 13. And
Okay.
I think we're at 12. So we just got one more left to do and we're good. So yeah.
Nice. What will it be called?
I can't tell you that one yet, I
I
can't
I
tell you
had
that
to
one
ask
yet.
though. I had to ask. Get the scoop.
But you will get the scoop when the time is right.
All right, let's leave it there then, because I do want you to come back when that is ready to launch. So we're going to leave it there for now. But if people want to get hold of you, give us your socials before you jump off.
Awesome. First things first, make sure you follow Grantley, first of all, and straight up. And then secondly, on Instagram, it is at Faith Child, Facebook, Faith Child, and Twitter, or now they call it X, Faith Child Music.
Faith Child. Oh, thank you so much for taking time out of the busy schedule. I really do appreciate you. I just pray that God just continues to bless, open doors, and I can't wait to see little Faith Charles running around, jumping in the background on your videos and stuff like
Hey,
that.
come
You
on.
still got all of that to come, right?
Much love. The Lord has so much in store for the future. I'm excited to see it all unravel.
Yeah. All right. So thank you so much. God bless you.
God
Enjoy
bless.
the rest of your day. Yeah.
Thank you so much.